Hi everyone, welcome to Square One Connect. My name's Lucy, I have Caitlin here with me today and we're going to be taking you through 30 minutes of stability and mobility work on a long roller, the one piece of equipment you'll need for this class, and we'll get started. So Caitlin, I'll have you lie on your back, and what we're going to do is start with a foam roller perpendicular to your spine. For ladies, we're starting about at where your bra strap sits. For men, just below the bottom of your shoulder blades. We're going to come into some nice thoracic opening to get started. So Caitlin's got herself in a nice supportive position here, feet flat on the roller, hands behind the head to support the head, and she's going to gently extend over the roller to open up through her thoracic spine. Hold there for a nice deep breath, and then curling back up. Nice. So this is a perfect one to get started. We're all spending a little bit too long over our devices at the moment, and the thoracic spine is one area that tends to suffer and get really nice and stiff and make us vulnerable to neck and back aches. So really lovely place to get started. So Caitlin's done about 4 extensions over that spot. What she's going to do is wiggle down a little bit and keep working into a different area of her thoracic spine to open up. So each level that you go to will probably feel slightly different. If there's an area that feels a bit stickier for you, stay there, do a few extra extensions, breathe through it, and work through any of those stiff spots. So we'll do one more set at a different level. Good. You'll notice here as well, Caitlin's not letting herself extend too much through her lower back. So we're really targeting this mid back and rib area with this extension work. Good. So from here, we're going to stay in exactly the same position. Caitlin's going to lift her bottom up by pushing through her heels and just do a nice self-massage up and down through her thoracic spine. So with this one, you're just staying in the same position, rolling out any of those tight knots you might be getting behind your shoulder blades. Should feel like a nice massage. Just push as firm as you feel you're comfortable doing. Again, just loosening up any of those tight spots you might be getting from spending too long over the keyboard. Good, just one more up and down there. Nice. So from here, we'll come to another area that does tend to get a bit stiff when we sit, which is your glute muscles, just to get us started. So Caitlin's wiggled the foam roller down underneath her hip. She's come into a gentle glute stretch there, and she's going to work through that right side. So for this one, we're just working through sort of where your belt would go if you had some trousers on, across that belt line and into the nice fleshy part of your glutes. So we'll do about another 15 seconds on this side and then swap sides. If you feel uncomfortable coming into this figure 4 position with your hips, you can do this with your legs out straight. Just do what feels comfortable for you. The foam rolling and loosening up should feel like a nice massage. It shouldn't feel painful. Good, and then the other side. All right, a few more seconds there. So your option for legs out straight, or if you've got the hip mobility, leg across. Nice. Cool. And then to finish our warm up, we're going to finish lying along the roller. So if you turn your roller vertically, your spine is going to come along that roller, bottom up one end and head up the other. Good, so just wiggle yourself into a position where your head is supported as well. Should have your tailbone down one end, head supported up the other end. Feel like you're nice and anchored through that roller so you don't have a massive gap between your spine. Should feel nice and heavy through your mid-back and into your tailbone for this, and feet are grounded on the floor, okay? Arms together, and we're going to come out into a T opening to open up through your pecs and chest. in this position, be careful that you don't arch off the roller. So try and keep your spine flat along the roller, and then you'll get the most out of this opening through your chest. Hold there for a moment, back up to the ceiling. So just opening, breathing out into your T's. Good, we'll do 3 more there. Maintain as well a little bit of a gentle chin tuck with this so that you're not arching through that neck. Should feel a nice opening stretch just through your chest, maybe a little bit through your rib cage as well. Good. 1 more if I've not already lost count, which I normally do. Good, and then from there we're going to change this to a W stretch just to target a little bit of a different area through your pecs. So if you're looking from above, which you can't see, Caitlin's making a W with her arms. And this just targets a little bit of a different area in your pec muscles at the front. Again, somewhere that does tend to suffer when we're spending a lot of time on devices or leaning over a desk. 3 more there. Keep breathing. And don't forget about maintaining that contact between your mid-back and the roller to get the most out of this stretch. Good, and then the next one we're going to do in this position is an I. So you're lifting your arms straight overhead. This is the one where people do tend to start to pop off here. I would say keep your ribs down, lift overhead as far as you can, and you should feel a really nice stretch through your armpits there to open up through your lat muscles as well. Good, and nice deep breaths at the top to try and get the most out of that mobility. 2 more there. Good, and we'll go for a slightly deeper stretch now from this position. So what Caitlin's going to do is send one arm to the wall behind her and one hand down towards her heel. She's going to reach her fingertips long in both directions. Nice deep breath, and then bring them together towards the ceiling and going in the other direction. How does that feel?
Yeah, really nice.
Good. Good, 1 more each side. And to finish off a bit of shoulder blade and mid-back mobility, we're going to do some scapular rolls here. So hands finish facing the ceiling, and Caitlin's going to reach her fingertips up to the ceiling like she's trying to slide her shoulder blades along her rib cage and then sink them down. So there's not a massive amount of movement with this one, and that's fine. Should just feel like you're hugging your shoulder blades around that rib cage and sinking down, just getting that last bit of mobility or stiffness out through there. Good, 2 more there. Nice, and to finish, we'll finish with the hands on the floor because we're going to go into some stability work. So you should feel nice and loose now, nice and warmed up through that spine. And first thing we're going to do is a little bit of lower tummy mobility. So you will probably need some support from your hands here. Don't feel like you're having to grip the floor, but at least just some fingertip support depending on how well you're able to stabilize through that pelvis. So first thing we're going to do is get Caitlin to breathe out and lift her left leg up to tabletop. Good. So shin is parallel with the floor and thigh is vertical, and then she's breathing out and popping that foot back into its footprint. Nice, right leg to tabletop. So we're just doing single leg lifts here. Start to get a little bit of work through that tummy and start to appreciate that you're actually on an unstable surface here. So tummy should work quite quickly. In terms of your spine position against the roller, what we should feel is that there's a slight gap between your lower back and the roller, and I don't want you to feel like that's flattening or increasing while you go on, so just maintaining that nice little space in your lumbar spine. Good, let's go for 2 more each side. So this is our base level stability on the roller. If the next few options we go to are too hard, you can stay on this option. Alternatively, you can do this just flat on the floor. The roller is just a really nice challenge for our stability muscles, switching on. So next level to this exercise is going to be 2 legs up. So Caitlin's going to lift her left leg to tabletop and then lift her right leg to tabletop and then lower her left leg and then lower the right leg. So we're going up, up, down, down, nice and slow and controlled. Feel like those movements are really nice and smooth and we're coordinating them well. Perfect. So starting to get a little wobble side to side, which you probably can't see on the video. But that's what we want, those stabilizing muscles starting to work. Again, you're probably going to need a little bit of help from your hands here, which is fine. Good. 4 more there. And just a note here, we're still maintaining that bit of gentle chin tuck, heaviness through our sternum and that mid back, so we're nice and anchored through that upper body. Good. How was that? Challenging?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
It's good though.
So do you think we'd be able to do anything with a little less arm support or too challenging for today?
We can try.
Okay. So next option is to reduce a little bit of your arm support. So do you want to try arms across your chest? And we'll go back to single leg versions. So 1 leg up, slowly back down. And then other leg up, slowly back down. So much harder to maintain your position now. Again, if you feel like the exercise before was where you're at, that's fine. This is quite a challenging version. But a little bit of fun as well on the foam roller. You don't have far to fall off the roller onto the floor. But please don't fall. Good, let's go 1 more each side. Lovely, and have a rest. Okay, we might do 1 more set here at whatever level you're on to finish us off in this position. So Caitlin, I'll give you the choice. Oh, she's gone for the challenging version.
I like this one.
Single leg. Good, nice little shakes there. Trying to stay really heavy through that roller. Good, we'll go 5 more in total, so we've done a set of 8. Little shakes.
Yeah. I thought I was going then. Alright, 2 more.
Lovely. So even if your option is to keep your hands down and just get those fingertips as light as you can, that's a nice way to progress yourself through this as well. Okay, all right. So now we're going to go into a little bit of glute and hammy work. So some more stability work. Caitlin's going to lie down flat on the mat and move the roller down to her feet. So every physio's favorite exercise, a bridge. And the roller again just makes it a little bit more unstable and a little bit more challenging for us. So the roller's underneath your the arches of your feet, so you've got nice contact there, but you can dig your heels into the roller a little bit as well. Hands are flat on the floor. To start this, we're going to pelvic tuck to flatten our lumbar spine against the floor, push down through the heels and lift your bottom up. Now, Caitlin's done a really great job at not letting that roller move, which is exactly what we want, and then rolling back down. So as opposed to a normal bridge, you'll feel this in your hamstrings a lot earlier because your legs are having to hold on to that roller, not to let it roll away. If we get a really nice pelvic tilt and lift, you should get a nice glute work quite early as well. Breathing out, hold at the top for a few moments, and then rolling back down. Very nice. 2 more there. I've lost count as usual. Good, and last one. So again, base level option. If you're struggling with this, you can just pop your feet flat on the floor if your hamstrings really start to have any issue with it. So what we'll do from here is a marching bridge. Okay, so we're going to lift up onto exactly the same start and then hover one leg off, place it back down, stay up, hover the left leg off, place it back down, and then rolling back down and resetting. Lovely. So rolling up, lifting one leg off. The leg that stays on the roller is working quite hard at this point through the glute and the hamstring. Keep pressing through your heel and then rolling back down. Good, 4 more like that. So lifting up on 2, one leg off, other leg off, good. Trying not to let that roller creep away at this point. 3 more and hammies should be working fairly hard now. Lovely. 2 more. How are the hamstrings feeling?
Yeah,
Starting to work? Good. Lovely. And is this last one?
Yeah.
Yes? Good. If I'm wrong, you can always do one more at home. Nice. And rolling back down. So we'll leave the roller where it is, and just for a little mini break, grab a hold of your left thigh, back of your left thigh, and just gently bend and extend your leg just to stretch that hammy out for a moment. Just as far as you feel comfortable, because we're going to do one more harder option. If this is feeling a little bit too tough for your hamstrings, again, just go back to our starting point of just your double leg bridges. So it's not uncommon to get some hamstring cramps with this, which aren't the nicest feeling, but if you practice them, those hamstring cramps normally go away quite quickly and you get really nice stability work through the backs of your legs. Okay, so last option, harder option, is our rollouts. So you're lifting up into your glute bridge and then pressing that roller away this time and dragging it back in, keeping your hips off the floor, and then rolling back down. Good. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So the further away that roller goes, the harder this will be on your hamstrings, particularly on this distal part of your hamstrings near your knees. But really good exercise for anyone that wants to be doing running, sprinting, and sport work. Good, and rolling back down. 3 more like this. So if you can't go quite as far as Caitlin, that's fine. She's nice and strong in her legs. You might even just be doing a mini roll of about a couple of inches.
Want me to show a mini one?
Yeah, you can show us a bit. So even a small one, and then back in, and then rolling down is fine. Last one?
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Make it a nice long one for us. Because we'll have a break now for a little bit more mobility work. Lovely.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, good. So a little bit of a break for our legs, and we'll come into a 4-point kneeling position. With the roller, let's pop it on this side so it's easy to see, to the side of your mat. So 4-point kneeling position, wrists are under shoulders, knees are under hips, nice and straight through the spine, and a gentle chin tuck here. Place the opposite arm on your roller underneath. So we're going into our thread the needles. Caitlin's going to push that roller away and rotate through her spine for a nice stretch. Forget about that hammy burn she just went through. Pull the roller back in, and then the option is to lift that same arm up and out to finish your rotation in the other direction. Scooping through, pushing that roller. The nice thing about using the roller for this is I find you can just push that little bit extra and get a really nice stretch through the back of the shoulder that's pushing the roller. Good. We'll do one more here. And then swapping sides. So same thing here. If you have any wrist niggles, you can certainly come onto your fists through the stabilizing arm, that's fine. Feel free to gently soften that stabilizing arm to sink into a deeper stretch as well. The trick is not letting that roller roll away, depending on what surface you're on. So dragging it in, up and out. Good. One more here. Lovely. Okay, we're going to remain in the 4-point kneeling position. So, like I said before, if you're having any issues with your wrists, come onto your fists or forearms if you need to. We're going to do some quadruped work or Superman's, bird dogs, whatever you want to call them. So let's place the roller underneath your knees, Caitlin. So it's going to be on the front of your shins. It doesn't need to be directly underneath your kneecaps if you're having any issues with that. But again, this just provides us with that little bit of an unstable surface here. So first thing we're going to do is some arm lifts. So left arm reaches towards the wall in front of you and then back down. And then right arm reaches towards the wall in front of you. Okay? So aim here is to maintain a nice neutral spine as you lift. So it's not about how far or how high you can lift that arm. It's about how far you can go without changing this position. Eyes are looking down to sort of between where your thumbs are so that you're maintaining a nice flat neck. And Caitlin's doing a nice job of keeping her neck really nice and long. Good. Should we add in some legs as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as Caitlin lifts her left arm, she's going to lift her right leg as well. Maybe just legs on their own?
No,
okay. All good? Okay. And then swapping sides. So definitely challenging for this one. Good. Just having to think about that before she lifts off, which is fine. Just take your time with it. Do you want to try even just anchoring a little bit through that toe so that you're not too unstable? Try that.
Oh, I'm confused. Oh, yeah, no. That's
yeah, there you go. So you've got a little bit of that point of contact there.
Yeah.
Nice. One more each side. Good. If you feel, just a note on this one, if you feel like the arm lifts are enough for you, I forgot to mention prior to this one that you can just do single leg lifts as well. So you can go arm, leg, leg, rather than combining them both. That's fine. Lots of gains to be made just with that if you don't feel like you can come into the arm and leg at the same time. Okay, so we're going to come into standing now. What we'll do for this one is use a wall for some really nice scapular mobility. So foam rollers going parallel to the floor and you're facing the wall with both your forearms on the roller. Start with the outside part of your wrist just underneath your pinky fingers in contact with the roller and a little bit of a forward lean here. You're going to press into that roller and press it up towards the ceiling until you reach your elbows and then back down. So this one is a bit of a different exercise, but it's really nice for both scapular stability and mobility. Again here, got a nice long neck. Caitlin's not trying to get as high as possible. It's actually just a nice little short roll there. Lovely. 2 more there. Good. So that shouldn't feel like really difficult work, but if you have had any shoulder issues in the past, it can be a really nice way to start to introduce a bit of scapular stability into your program. Okay, so next one we're going to do is a little bit of leg stability, glute stability. So we're doing some Romanian deadlifts or RDLs with the roller. So you're going to place the roller on the same side foot, right on top of where your laces would go, or if you are wearing shoes, you can place it on your laces, and then hand is going on there. The key with this exercise is keeping your spine nice and stable and everything facing forward as you start to move into the movement. So from here, Caitlin's going to press her left hand into the roller to push her left leg back. She's going to fold forward at the hips. Good. And then press through her right leg to come back to standing. So that left leg is kind of scooting along the floor and pressing backwards, and then you're coming back up. So this is really great single leg stability work, glute work for the leg that remains in contact with the floor. And you might find that it helps a little bit, gives you a little bit of a stretch through your hamstrings. That's fine. What we want to see is that you stay really nice and long through your spine. So this is what we call a hip hinge movement. So great for hamstring length and strength, as well as glute strength. 2 more there. Perfect. And then swapping sides. Good. So I do find this is a really good way to start to introduce the hip hinge movement and start to introduce a little bit of single leg stability, because the roller helps guide the movement. So it's perfect for this exercise. Nice. 2 more. Good. Okay. From here, did I miss one?
No.
No. From here, we're just going to do a little bit more single leg stability work. Now, option, if you have it, feel free to pop a band around your knees, but it shouldn't be one of your really heavy bands, just a light band for an exercise that we call the fire hydrant. So we're using the foam roller just as a slight stabilizing surface here. I'm going to come into standing on one leg. The leg that's bent is going to be just behind you. And then you're pushing that leg out into a clam type action, but trying to stay sort of very square on through your shoulders and your hips. So you'll notice that Caitlin is keeping everything facing forward rather than turning as she moves. Now we call this a fire hydrant because you kind of look like a dog lifting its leg to do its business on a fire hydrant. It's an easy way to remember the exercise. It's one of my favorite exercises for runners because this is exactly where you hit the ground and need that glute stability on the stabilizing leg. 2 more there. So you'll see Caitlin's foot's wobbling a little bit, which is good. We're getting some nice single leg stability work there. You're laughing because you're struggling a little bit with that one? Yeah, okay, cool. Something to note as well is that don't mind if you come into a little bit of a forward trunk lean with this, that's fine. You actually need your shoulders just in front of your hips here. If you stay too upright, you probably won't feel much work in your glutes. Good, 2 more. Bonus points if you can actually let go of the roller here and stay really nice and stable. So maybe as you work on that, you can try and do that without holding on or leaning onto the roller. So it should just be nice light fingertips on there as you need it. And if you don't need it, that's great as well. Okay, so we're going to finish in standing with some roll downs on the roller. So Caitlin's going to fold down from her head, push that roller forward, soften at her knees if she needs to. Have a nice deep breath there. You can rock the roller to the left and to the right for a side bend and opening up through your spine and just decompressing. Good, one more each side. Nice. And then pulling that roller back towards you, stacking up nice and tall again, nice deep breath. And you're all done. Thanks for joining us for 30 minutes of mobility and stability on the foam roller on Square One Connect.